I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be. Hello, everyone. It's Todd Scrima and Jim Reed and the lovely Robyn LaVassaur. Jim and I are not lovely. We are just older men. And welcome to another episode of Being Your Best for Loan Officers. And first of all, thank you to everyone. I must, like every week, I've got 5 or 6 people, and I know Rob and Jim do too, that say, gosh, I listened to your podcast. And it's very honoring, right? That's what I would say. It's very honoring. And we hope that we give you good content. That's the goal. So tomorrow starts today is the idea here. And let's start. I'll say a couple comments and then we'll just rip it. I think people are very lost.
People or loan officers?
Loan officers, sorry.
Yeah.
People, I think people are too.
Yeah, loan officers.
I've never seen a less of a clear vision. I just did an interview with a young man, and I'm like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 5-year vision? And this very motivated young 40-year-old man. And he couldn't tell me anything. Nothing. I said, bud, that's a problem, right? Because I was working on a project I'm doing, and I wrote down all these visions I had. So I'll just let me rip for just a minute. Indulge me. When I was 7 years old, I was in the store, and I grew up on a farm, and eggs were 39 cents. And I said, Mom, if you get these eggs, I don't have to go do the chickens at night. That was a vision. I know that sounds silly. Stick with me for a second. When I was 17, I saw the movie Wall Street, and I decided I wanted to be Gordon Gekko. And that led me to go to college when only one person in my entire family had ever gone to college. Because I couldn't be Gordon Gekko on Wall Street without college. That's a true story. That's literally how I thought at 17. Okay, that was a vision that led to college. When I was 23 years old, the only thing I thought of, this is my first year in mortgage, was 10 loans a month. 10 loans a month. Every day of my life, 10 loans a month. How do I get 10 loans a month? How many leads is that? How many meetings? How many accounts? How many times do I have to be out in the field? How many loan applications? And I'd started doing all the math. It's a vision. Okay? So tomorrow starts today is about, hey, what are we going to do on purpose to benefit our lives? And what is the thing that you're lacking? Like this young gentleman, going back to my interview just a second ago, I said, bud, you know what you're lacking? He says, what? I said, you know loans, right? He says, yes. I said, he's very intelligent, like emotionally intelligent. I said, I don't think you struggle when you meet people, right? When you get a meeting. Nope. I said, your problem is account acquisition. So next year, if you come here, that's all we're going to work on. Because if I get you in front of 5 new accounts a week, you will start doing business with 3 or 4 a month. Instead of just having 3 accounts that you have now, every month you'll add 2 to 4 to your accounts. But it's the focus next year. That's an example of what are we going to build tomorrow in order, like, what do we got to work on? What do we got to get better at in order to achieve? So, okay, your turn. I'll shut up.
I think what you're saying is you have to be chasing something. Like when you say you have to have a dream of what it looks like when you're done, so you're chasing it. Otherwise, you don't chase anything. If you're not chasing something, you're always chasing something, Todd. You're either chasing this vision of 10 loans a month or this vision of not having to be able to afford 39-cent eggs, or you're chasing a vision of being lazy, or you're chasing a vision of having someone do things for you. But you're always chasing something, whether you're aware of it or not, right?
Yeah, so there's 2 components. There's the specific vision of what is it that you want, right? And it can't be 10 things.
Like what's it look like when it's all finished? What's it look like when it's done? Not that it's ever done, but what's it look like in 1 year or 5 years? What's it look like?
And then a plan, very specific plan that's consistent on how to achieve the vision.
Well, the problem with the plan is if you've never been there before, you don't know the plan. That's when you got to get a mentor or a coach, or you got to be around a group that has done that so you can get help with it. That's the missing link, in my opinion. Robyn?
when we're talking about tomorrow starts today, I think one of the things that people have heard, likely, if you're an originator, you've heard this statement. What you do today will create what you close in 90 days, right? I think we've all heard it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I don't think people believe it. I don't think Niagara Falls is close enough, if you will, to you feel like you're going to go over if you don't do something today. And so I think people constantly think there's always tomorrow, right? I'll prospect more tomorrow. I'll make more calls tomorrow. I'll build out my calendar tomorrow. I'll form habits. I'll get in the groove, if you will, tomorrow. And the truth is, it has to start today. And this could be applicable to life, but in business, I think it's one of the weakest skills that we have overall in the loan officer world is I'll do it tomorrow, because we have the freedom of choice, right? Nobody's really, unless you're somebody that has to show up and clock in and be at the call center, that accountability is not there. And so the belief, if you will, that you're out of time, that you had no choice but to get leads today.
Dude, can I jump in?
Yes, please.
I'm going on a trip. So this week, I've been working every day like I'm out of time. I cannot tell you how much crap I'm getting done. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how many business plans I've finished, how many things I've buttoned up, how many decisions I've made, how much I've delegated, how well I've delegated it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, the difference in the level.
Because
to your point.
No, you want to go on vacation appropriately and be checked out, right? Be gone, be focused on family. And so you have to play at the highest level today because you don't have next week to get it done. You don't. You have to get it done this week, all of it, and then some. And I think that, there's this, my husband I love, just total random side note. Like, let me go a little,
we go Todd on it. Go ahead.
I know, I'm going to go a little rogue for a minute.
No.
My husband and I sit in a hot tub from time to time, and we'll have this conversation. And sometimes we just sit there and listen to music. And one night, my husband says, I love this song by Luke Combs. And it's not a radio song by Luke Combs, one of those buried in the album, if you will, that if you start listening to it. And I just want to read this for 2 seconds. This is lyrics from it. And I want you to think metaphorically. Yes, you could think about your business, but I want you to think about, you could think about your life. I want you to think about it when it comes to your business. And the start of it, this will be fast, is dear today, tomorrow here. Dear today, tomorrow here. Man, I was just checking in. Hope you've been well.
Oh, dear today, tomorrow here.
Tomorrow, I'm doing all right. Could always be better. Seeing as you, today, is the only one with a choice in the matter. If I know you're too busy to do anything that you ought to do. Guess what I'm saying is, if you don't change, boy, you'll be kicking yourself one of these days.
Whoa.
And that's one of the main lyrics pieces. And then there's another verse that just hits as well. But if you really think about that.
Who is it? Luke Combs?
Luke Combs. Such a good song. It's called Dear Today. And what he's really saying is, hey, if I were acting as if I'm tomorrow, would I be happy with what you set me up for today, right? Like, I'm coming regardless, right? And it's I last week when I was coaching, and Jim, I think I told you, and Todd, I told you, I was talking to a loan officer, and fantastic loan officer with fantastic overall results. And we were doing some comparison because we started at Summit at the same time. We've done a bunch of things the exact same way. We, just so much similarity between the two of us. And the truth is, there are a lot of things that I've been able to achieve in units, in volume, in calendar overall, in how many hours a week I work, and then overall in wealth building that he has not achieved. Yet. Now, we're on the same trajectory of 14 years with mentors and coaching and all of those things. And when he and I dug into it, what it really is that he has always thought, I'll start this tomorrow. I'll get better at it then, right? I'll do this another time, instead of, hey, the disciplines of today will bring you the results you want tomorrow. And I think that is what we have to get super hyper focused on. No more waiting, no more delays, no more procrastination, no more thinking, no more knowing, because we know the same things. It was simply who did more. Yeah.
I said that's super deep. So nothing comes to those who wait. Nothing, which is part of what you said. But if you go one or two more levels deeper with him, because I know him, the question is, why did he wait? Or right? So that's the deepest solution to the problem of sitters is one step deeper than what you guys discovered, right?
Correct.
And most of the time it is because they have issues with authority and they are not as coachable as the other person. Issues with authority for whatever reason they like to, or they challenge authority, which is okay. I challenge authority, but it delays the process for most people. Some people, it propels the process, but for others, it delays the process, right? Like, I tell someone how to fix a loan, and after that, they go ask 16 other loan officers. There's a small example of what I'm saying. They're delaying the decision-making. They're challenging the authority. Oh, no, I just want to make sure I'm right. I could have done it wrong, fixed it twice, and been done before you. Like,
Yeah.
It's being a doer, right? My wife calls it being a doer. You're such a doer. You never sit. I'm a doer. I'm either doing or I'm sleeping. I am a doer. Do something. Like, I'll do something, even if it's wrong. I'll fix it after I break it, but I'm doing something. I am not chilling. What TV show you watching? None.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
None. Well, I think that the order that we put things in is wrong. And I think a lot of people think, I'll believe, I'll get confidence, and then I'll go out and do. And it's actually the reverse. You do first, right? You accomplish first, then confidence comes, then belief comes from those results. People are waiting on the feeling and the belief and the motivation, all of these things to then go do.
Oh, you're talking about faith and patience. It's from John Woods' Success Pyramid. Faith and patience. Faith and patience. You got to have faith. You pick the right mentor. You got patience for the work to come to fruition. Faith and patience. You got to have faith you made a good decision. You got to have patience to let it work.
Yes.
And most of the time, it's patience. Todd's biggest skill. Hey, Todd, I love you, bro, but you're no smarter than me. But you are a patient mofo.
Yes.
Like, you are patient. You are willing to wait for the result, and you're faithful that however you made the decision is the right one. I'm better than most. You're way better than me. That's what I think the biggest of differences is. So the real question is, how do you surround yourself with a company or a group that allows you to create a 5-year plan or vision, or nudges you off of your stock position, right, Todd?
Yes, and I would say we're also been in a time period this last 4 years in our industry where people have gotten more recluse and more separated. And it's the opposite of what works.
Which is this connection?
Yeah. So guys, I agree with all that. I think it's such a big topic, but if I were to say, like, what's crystallized to me is I literally only work on one thing at a time. One thing. I have other responsibilities, but most of my focus, time, and effort and doing part is working on that choke point. Well, that comes from having a vision. Like, in Summit, it's 500 loan officers closing 10 loans a month. I don't want to be, a big, huge company. I want to stay medium size, and I want everyone to kick butt. Like, and people say, why is that? Because it makes me freaking happy, and it's my company. It makes me happy. Like, I'm talking to this young kid, and I'm like, well, Robyn, you just hired someone, 27 years old, been in the business 3 years. He was the #1 timeshare salesman for Wyndham for 2 or 3 years, and he's been in mortgage for 3 years. He'll close $40 million this year. He sits there at dinner and tells me he's going to close $150 million next year. Now, I don't know if he can close $150 million, but he will close $150 million one day. He is that driven out of his freaking gourd, and he'll do anything to achieve it. It doesn't, like, the fear barrier is low. So
and does he do more doing or more thinking?
More doing.
More doing.
It's more doing. If you do the wrong things a lot, it's better than someone doing the right things a little.
Yes. That, we could just end on that, Jimmy. Like,
that's an original. I just made it up.
Write it down, because that's a Jimmy quote you should post all over the place. That's the truth. Like, people need to do more, think less.
Yes.
And if you just take that to heart and actually think, I thought about this, I'm just going to do it. Do what I'm thinking about. If you just did that for the next 90 days, you're taking care of tomorrow. That's the whole point of this. You're taking care of tomorrow.
I'll give you an example. I'm working on my vision right now. I swear to God, I'm working on it right now. I swear.
Listen, I'm telling you, if you have a crystal clear vision and then you have a simple plan to execute it, which most business people call a strategic plan on exactly what you're going to do. And it might be 3 things every day.
Yes.
Like this is not super complicated for loan officers. So if you just have a crystal vision and a simple strategic plan on how to execute it, things that you do every day, you will achieve it. And so I get kind of pissed off. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, Bud, your sales skills are the same as most loan officers. He says, what? I said, it's a 2 out of 10. And he's like, well, he got kind of offended. I said, shut up.
Yeah.
I said, I've been coaching sales for 24 years professionally. I said, your sales skills are low. You've been in the business for 10 years and you have 2 accounts. That's the problem. And it's that simple. So that's all we're going to work on. But that's the only thing he doesn't want to work on because he's scared. So, but imagine if you could take your sales skills from a 2 to a 6 or 7 or an 8 in this business over a couple years. You're talking about in this industry, that's 400, 600, 500, 800 grand a year.
Crazy.
So just work on your freaking sales skills and go like mad ballistic. I'm talking, Robyn and I are in a competition right now with some of our other people, a 4-month-long competition. I told these people, I said, if me and Robyn with our responsibilities.
By the way, Jim's competing with us, Todd.
Yeah.
Mount.
Listen.
I counted you out, Jimry.
The competition now isn't started. It starts on the 1st of November. And I'm telling you, Robyn and I are going to win that whole freaking thing.
Me too.
I interviewed a guy.
2,000. These are 2,000 loan officers. I've already started 2.
Bring your A game because it's going to take it. She already got 5 or 6 starting in November. I'm working on a 25.
That don't count. She talked to them before the competition started. That don't count.
We're stacking.
That don't count.
Hey, tomorrow starts today.
Anyways, if you're a loan officer and you want to be around a group that has vision and knows how to teach it, call us or call Next Level Coaching. Have a great day.
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank you guys. Have a great month.